So now let's take a look at how we can create a surface that caps the bottom part of our bottle, but it's just not straight flat, but also has kind of like an inside dip in. And for example, along the edge has a nice even fillet. So let me turn on my curve layer and show you what I have here. You see that I have half a circle and a line. And from a side view, you can see those profiles are a little bit above the ground plane. So they will define the height. And the reason behind those is simply that this line and the arc can create a planar surface, and then I have a surface input to create a blend between my planar surface to the sharper edge and make it blend from the planar surface at least tangent or curvature, so I have a nice soft transition to the center, and then it will be sharp at the edge, but the edge one we can then soften with the round tool. So let me show you how I created actually this half circle. Let's turn on the grid, and I'm going to select those curves and hide them, and then I create a circle, press Alt, click at the world center, the grid, and then snap to the grid, and then I scale those down. Okay, and maybe I would like to move those up a little bit, maybe let's say there. Okay, I would like to only have one half of a circle, so I could, for example, create a line with an EP curve, snap control to those EP points on the ring, and I assume with this line in the center and this ring, Alias will be smart enough to understand I will only want one half, but as you can see, it creates completely filled circle. I could trim the circle, but then I would add in another additional modeling step. I don't really want to, so trimming is not really an option here. So what other option do I have? Well, we can actually make use of our EP curve and simply snap to each EP point on our ring. So with the EP curve, I just press Control and click each EP curve of my ring, and then you see that Alias is redrawing my CVs, so I end up with a perfect arc. And if I select this ring, and you see they perfectly match. So this one I can delete, and now I ended up with this line and half of a ring, and those I can use for the planar surface. So let me go back to my original profile I have here. Now I'm going to fill this with a planar surface. Let's zoom out a little bit. And what is this one here? Seems to be some lost or geometry fragment. Okay, I just deleted it. Okay, so similar to what we did with the surface offset, we can now go to the freeform blend tool, and then I say first edge, maybe curvature 2, and this is my first edge, to G0 position. This is my second edge. Okay. So let's take a look at how this looks. Maybe from here. There you can see that from the edge sharply it blends over nicely and soft. If I select the blend surface and then start my freeform tool, I can, for example, change this to G0, G1, G2, G3, and G2 actually should really be enough. Or maybe G1, let's see. Well, G2 is pretty good, but let's scale it down a little bit. Maybe I'll just leave it right there. Okay, good. Well, let's set this one to tangent. And okay, well, that is way too big, so we have to scale it down. And it might look good, and you might think it will work. However, if we go to the front view and we zoom in, you see that this is not acceptable. See, the surface kind of like dips in here, dips in there, and then something awful is happening there. And that's because this is also a really sharp edge for the blend function to work. So that's not really a good example to use the blend tool for creating a blend to both surface edges. So just at this one it will work out and it's fine because it's not really a big deal. We still have a nice surface edge here. We could now go ahead and just go and select this edge, type in maybe 0.5. I have to guess right now what the radius might be, maybe 1. Yeah, let's try it. And Alias is calculating. Okay, let's go into the front view and see if everything works out, and it does. As you can see, the lower edge is nice and straight. So to get the straight edge in general, in some of my tests, I noticed that with this geometry, the freeform blend creates a good surface in some cases, but does not create a nice and straight lower edge. So for that, then you have to use an edge rounding. So let's turn the grid off and maybe turn the symmetry on again. And let's turn this off. And there's, for example, now our lower part with a rounded edge. And also a small helper. Whenever you would like to change a setting for a surface command, you can select just that surface, like the round. Then you can click on round. And let's say you would like to undo this command. Just click on revert and you basically undid your job. So you see that all the trimming is gone as well. That's actually a kind of awkward way of Rhino to give you an undo one. So sometimes you don't have it inside here when you apply commands. You can just simply then go to the construction history and turn off that specific feature, because that's how you call it in parametric modeling. What I'm doing right now is basically creating a feature, because the surface the rounding tool creates is actually not really, for me, touchable. It's just interactively calculated. I didn't build it by myself. And let's say maybe 2. I would like to see how my rounding looks with 2. Okay, maybe 4. And yeah, I feel more comfortable with, for example, this radius. Okay, so you see this way then afterwards I went back and adjusted the edge rounding so it visually feels more appropriate.